Alright, so I came up with a better idea. Rather than using spacers on this bracket, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of the cutoffs that I cut off from the sides, and I think I'm going to take it out to the garage and I'm going to weld that together. Being this is steel, it'll be easy to do. This way it should be more than long enough, and then if I have to, I can, man, I hate these black lines. I can just cut it down as needed. I can drill the hole wherever it's needed rather than putting spacers. That way this part here will stay flat on the surface of the fender, and it'll be more secure that way. So that's the next step. I'm going to go out in the garage now and fire up the welder and see if I can weld this together. Okay, so let's see if I can give you an idea what this is looking like so far. I kind of have the fender on here temporarily, and I think I got the angles about right. I think what I am going to do though is I think I'm going to cut about 3-4 inches off on the back side back here. I think I'm going to cut it up to about here. It's a little bit too long. I want it long, but not quite that long. So it's a plastic fender, it's not a big deal. I can just cut it off, round off the corners on my belt sander. It's not that big of a deal. The other thing that I noticed is once I got my brackets all made here, I got this cable right here. This, and your brake lines are in here and some wiring and things like that. And I don't want it to be rubbing on this screw. So eventually the screw is going to go in the other way, so that this nice flat head or round head is going to end up being on the back side. Okay, so I don't have this these brackets permanently attached to the fender because now I'm going to take them off and I'm going to paint them. So right now I'll pull this off the bike and I'll show you what these brackets came out looking like. Okay, so here you can see how I've got these angled forward so that I get the right angle on the fender, and the rear one being the long one and the front one being the short one. Now this one's not attached. I kind of got a couple of rivets in here lightly torqued down. They're not the right length. I just got them on there just to hold it in place. So hang on one second, I'll pull that off. Okay, so this is the front bracket, and you see the angle that I got on it, and this is the rear bracket. And another thing that I did is I slotted this hole right here so that I could get some adjustment up and down so that I could get it, you know, at the right angle. So now all that's left to do is paint these, and then I'll pop rivet them on, and I'm going to try the rivets and I'm going to see how it works, and if it holds up okay, you know, great. If not, I can always through bolt them. But I got some rivets that got, you know, a pretty good size head on them, and these are going to go in from the back side once this is all done. Alright, and then once this pulls down, I'll grind off the excess so it's not sticking up, but it'll give me, you know, the big head will give me a good purchase, a good bearing surface on the inside there. Trying to find these rivets was a little tough. I did find some at Home Depot, and boy did I pay for them. You know, you buy them in these little bags that are like $2 a piece or whatever, but hey, I need them. It's not a big deal. Alright guys, so I'll get back with you once these are painted and I start riveting them back on. Well, it's been a while since I've been able to get down in here and work on this fender project. Working for a living just kind of sucks sometimes, and it's just, I've had so much going on, I had to walk away from this for a while. But here's the progress that I've made. I've gotten, I don't know if you can see this, I got the brackets painted up. Alright, And I did find some stuff. I found these on eBay. Not eBay. Well, here, I can show you here. I found them on Amazon. And black rivets with a real big head, so that I'll be able to put these in and you won't see them so much. Now I did, you know, just because I wanted to have some on hand, I got a bunch of just plain silver rivets, but that's just because I want to have them on hand. It's one of those things where I needed some fasteners. I had bought a bunch of these fasteners from, you know, these rivets from Home Depot. They were really expensive, but they're stainless steel. But the only thing is I got everything black and everything on the bike is black. I decided, well, I like the corrosion proof, you know, the corrosion resistance of the stainless steel, but I just didn't want to see the rivets. So I went ahead and ordered some black ones and they should work fine. Now, I have the old school rivet tool. I've had this one like forever. This is an old Dayton. Really heavy duty. It's a good tool. But some of these rivets are pretty big and kind of hard to get at. So I found this on Amazon as well. And now this is a Dorman brand, which makes a lot of automotive stuff. What does it say there? What is it? Made in China? But this is kind of cool. It's got a little bottle here so that when the stubs pop off, they fall into the bottle to catch it. But this should give me a lot more leverage and allow me to reach inside, you know, inside the fender here if I need to pop these rivets in. So next thing, I need to get the brackets on. So like I said, this is going to be the rear of the fender, and the little short part is going to be the front of the fender. I wanted this to come down to protect the bike a little bit from the splash coming off the tire. So what I need to do is I need to rivet this on and this on. So I'll give you an idea what this is going to look like. I'll bring you over and show you what I got envisioned in my head. So you can see this here. This is the front bracket, and you can see I kind of got them, you know, bent at an angle here and here, so that they'll bolt up and allow this fender to rock down. So I'm going to bring you over here. I'm going to put you on pause for a minute. I'm going to gather up my tools, see which rivet fits the best, and we're going to see how we're going to progress from there. Okay, so what I chose here, let's see if I can show you. These are 3/16 rivets in diameter. So is the hole that I drilled. So what my plan is, and I have this fender kind of supported over here between my two tables so that I can get in and pop the rivets on these. Now, I put these in with the big head on the plastic side because on the other side is the metal bracket. So this is what's going to expand across the metal bracket. Now this is not going to be as clean looking as I would like on this side. If I want to after the fact, I can come in and, you know, maybe grind some of this rivet off if I don't like the way it looks or whatever. But I'm going to try not to touch it because it'll stay black and you won't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these rivets on. What I got to do is I got to check the tool though. I got to get it set up for the right size rivet. So give me a minute here. All right, I got lucky. It comes with, you know, the extra size, you know, bits in here to hold the shank of the rivet. This one just happened to be set up with the right size shank, so 3/16. All right. So now what I'm going to do is see if I can pop these on. Now you want to go slow. Did that pop already? No. I think, oh yeah, it did. I'll be darned. That took like nothing. Did it expand properly? I don't think so. No, I bet you I could push that right out. Alright, let's try again. Okay, so what I've decided is I don't like these rivets at all. This first one, I mean, yeah, they look cool, but the first one, can I show you? it didn't even expand. The second one did, but it expanded kind of weird, and it didn't really pull it down super tight. The bracket is not really tight to the plastic, so even though I don't like the silver of these rivets, these are stainless steel rivets, and these are going to pull down way tighter. So I'm going to try to get these back out of here. I might have to drill it out from the back side and pull these out of here, and I'm going to try these stainless ones. Now, worst case scenario, if I don't like the way they look, I can always just put a little black paint on them and call it a day. So give me a minute. I'm going to see if I can get these out of here. Alright, so here we are. The tool of choice to get those old rivets out was this nipper. I just cut it off on the back side and got underneath it from the inside, got underneath the head and closed them up and pulled them right off. So now I got this set up again. Let's see what we got here. You see the rivets on the inside, right? Nice big head. They fit actually a little bit tighter. These are stainless, so they're not going to corrode. So now let's see if I can get these, if these will pull down tighter. So, same tool, just coming in from the back side. Definitely pulling in tighter, I like that. Should break. There we go. Let's see how it looks on the other side. Oh, definitely mushroomed out a lot better. So it sticks up a little bit. You can't see it on the camera, but the head is pulled way down in. I could actually probably cut some of this off. But let's get the other one. Let's get the other one in and see how it does. Uh-oh. Yeah. Too funny. I pushed the rivet right out. Try this again. It's because I didn't have the tool opened up all the way. Alright. Now it's not going to fall out. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that much better. That pulled in really tight. That's pulled in tight against the fender. It's not going to get loose and wobble around. Alright, so give me a second. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get the other one set up. Alright, so I went ahead and masked off them rivets and gave them a shot of black paint. So at least it'll all be black on the top side that you're going to see. It doesn't matter what's underneath it because you're never going to see it. So I got it sitting in front of the fan, as you can see, and we'll let it dry for a few minutes before I do the next step. Now, what is the next step? The next step is I got to put it in position on the bike and see where I want to cut this fender at. It's a little bit too long. I am going to cut some of this off on the bottom of it, just so that it looks a little better and it's not quite, you know, so big looking, not too large. So I'm going to let this paint dry a little bit, and then we'll get it set up to measure where I want to cut it at. Alright, so I let the paint dry up a little bit, and now it's I'm going to get ready to mount it on the bike and see where I want to cut this fender off. So this is the bolt that's going to hold it on. And just for fabbing up purposes, I just put a wing nut on it, just so it'll be easy to get it on and off without having to get a wrench and tighten things down. But this is all stainless steel hardware. Stainless steel, you know, main bolt, got a stainless steel lock nut, got some stainless steel washers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up, and I'm going to put it on the bike here, and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So let's see here. Alright, so here's what I want to do now. I'm going to put this fender on here temporarily. So, it's a little bit snug getting it in here. Gotta kind of wiggle it. There we go. Alright. So it looks like the bracket stayed pretty much in position. Get this 1/4-inch bolt through here. Probably would have been better if I put it on the other way. I don't know if I can get the wing nut on this side. No, probably not. Alright, so let's go in this way. Now when this is all said and done, I want the head of the bolt on this side so that it doesn't interfere with this wire harness here, my cables. But just for trying things out, this will be alright. I said this wing nut is going to allow me to take it on and put it off as needed without having to have a bunch of tools. So this will give me kind of an idea where I want it. Alright, let's go handheld here for a minute. I'm going to walk around, kind of give you an idea what that looks like. I like the way this looks from the front. The size of the fender matches the size of the tire really good because of these big shinkles that I have on here. Now I'm going to see if I can get a different camera angle here. Okay, so right now I kind of got the bike leaning over onto the chair and the toolbox that's behind it. And what I want to do is I want to cut some of this fender off. So this to kind of give me an idea where I'd like to cut it. This would put it on an even plane at the bottom of the bike. So I'm thinking it's probably going to go right about there. Maybe not quite so much. Let's see what that would figure out to be. That would figure out to be 6 inches. I'm thinking, let me start by cutting 4 inches off and put it back on there and see how it's going to look. This might work. Let's see how this goes. This might give you a little bit of a view anyway. So let's see what we got here. I got my height of my bandsaw raised way up so I can get this underneath and move it around. Now the trick to cutting on the bandsaw is try to keep it, you're going to have to keep rotating it around like this to try to keep it flat to the table, otherwise it's going to want to grab. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but the object is to try to not let that happen. So let's see what happens here. This is plastic, it should cut really easy. And there we have it. So now I'm going to, before I do the finishing on this, I might round this corner off a little bit, and same thing over here, and get all these fuzzies off of here. But before I clean all this up, I'm going to put it back on the bike and see how it looks. But don't drop it. Okay, so let's go handheld here for a minute. See if I can give you an idea how this is going to look. I got it back on there. I think that looks much better. My concern was with it being down too low, that if I go up and down curbs or stuff like that, or rugged terrain or whatever, that it might snag on them. So right now I'm not concerned about that. I have plenty of clearance here for the wheel to travel, because you can see on the fork, you see the line right there, it only moves about 3 inches, so I've got plenty of clearance still. Now what I am probably going to do is do a little shaping on the back of that fender. just to kind of round it off a little bit so it doesn't look so squared off. Now that's an easy thing to do. So I'm going to put you on pause here, take that back off, clean it up a little bit, and then I'll come back.